Welcome to the Potent Mind, where curiosity meets clarity. Ever feel like your brain has a mind of its own? Here, we explore how attention works, why it drifts, and how to train it back, gently, powerfully, and on purpose. It's not about fixing your mind, but learning to work with it. Let's get started.
Real integrity is doing the right thing, knowing nobody's going to know whether you did it or not. Oprah Winfrey. Learning to get past your stories and preconceptions, and how to listen to your feelings clearly will help you take better care of yourself and your needs, and move beyond simply surviving to expand your world, reach out, take risks, and influence others in society. If you still don't believe you make up stories, look around at people near you now, or try walking down the street and listen to the conclusions you draw in your mind about people you see. Can you see that they're stories? We take an observation, such as a tattoo, hairstyle, or body, and create a whole story about the person, and perhaps about what they think of us. Think about the stereotype you have of a psychiatrist. Do I fit the stereotype? I'm not pushing pills. I'm not trying to treat a disorder, but we all tend to put people in categories, overgeneralize, and then act and react based on our assumptions rather than the realities of the individual. We do the same to ourselves, categorizing and overgeneralizing. For example, I'm weak. A lot of what we normally see as reality is influenced by our stories and interpretations of events growing up. So, many of our feelings are based on distortions of reality. If you grow up believing, I'm different, or I'm a victim, then you will have emotional reactions to events that have little relationship to reality. As an adult, you may know that everyone's different, unique, and in many ways we're also alike, or that you may have been a victim in some ways as a child, but you're not a victim now. However, at the gut level, the childhood beliefs hold fast. A common mistake is for people to wait for these beliefs to change before they think or act differently. Instead, we need to accept that these beliefs are there, they become hardwired and often self-fulfilling. The bad news is that the childhood beliefs deep down may never really go away. The good news is that you can learn to work around them. It starts out with a willingness to question your beliefs. You must be willing to let go of what you believe, even if it seems perfectly logical, or what you deeply feel in your gut. If you're confused about what thinking is rational and what is not, that's good. It's okay not to be sure. The trick is learning to perceive events without our usual distortions and preconclusions, then trust the emotions that are left. For centuries, most people believed that the universe revolved around the Earth. Later, that was proven wrong, and that our planet, and by implication we ourselves, were less important than we thought. As children, we believe the world revolves around us. As we grow up, on one level we learn it does not, but on another level we still think it does. There are several techniques to help us straighten out our self-talk. Number 1 is analyze. Why do I think this way? Understanding why you think the way you do is helpful to a point, but won't change how you think. You don't need to understand why in detail, only to be able to identify what thinking is distorted and how to straighten it out. Therapies that spend a lot of time analyzing and asking why are not cost or time effective. Many of us become too caught up in our head, going around in circles asking why, or what does this mean, what does that mean? The next approach is positive thinking. I'm not bad, I'm good. I'm not a failure, I'm a success. When you feel like a failure and someone tells you to think of yourself as a success, how much do you believe that? Telling yourself that you're good, or a success, or strong, is simply perpetuation of the same black and white thinking from childhood. Many well-meaning therapists, family, and friends feed into this, transmitting their own automatic judgmental thinking. The concept is, yes, the world is black and white, there are good people and bad people, strong people and weak ones, and you're one of the good or strong ones. Like you'll believe that. Positive thinking, sometimes framed as affirmations, is just as distorted as negative thinking. Predicting that the day will turn out well is just as distorted as predicting it will turn out lousy. We can't predict the future. Also, most days have both positive and negative aspects. categorically stating that someone is normal or not normal, strong or weak. It's all black and white thinking, the way a child thinks. I prefer a different type of thinking, neutral thinking. People are not strong or weak, all good or all bad. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. No one is more or less worthy than anyone else. The next approach is cognitive behavioral therapy, identifying distortions and neutralizing them. CBT is well established as effective psychotherapy for a variety of psychological problems. It also provides useful tools to sort out our thinking and help distinguish between irrational thoughts tied in with childhood beliefs and objective thoughts. The behavioral part also provides tools to reinforce the objective thinking and to put that into action. The next approach is the mindfulness/meditation approach, which also is more recently being combined with cognitive behavioral therapy. A large part of practicing mindfulness is being present to your own thoughts and feelings and where they're coming from. In DBT, the practice strengthens the wise mind, which becomes increasingly proficient at identifying and sorting feelings from the emotional mind and thoughts from the rational mind. Most of this workshop will be about better understanding our emotional mind, but here I've wanted you to see that our rational mind isn't always rational, and we need to develop and strengthen our wise mind to continually be sorting our thoughts out. Another method to approach our childhood thinking is to blow it out of the water. For example, Landmark Forum. This is a very intense cognitive workshop designed to quickly show people their automatic assumptions, judgments, and beliefs that come from childhood and how to think beyond them. The techniques and workshop designs are really very powerful for many people who have been held back by inaccurate beliefs carried over from childhood. As a therapist and as a participant, I have seen many people benefit from this program. It involves an extensive weekend workshop called the Forum, plus options to go further. After the Forum, which I took with my wife, we were asked if we were brainwashed. Reflexively and defensively, we started to say no, but then we agreed it was like our brains were washed clean of certain beliefs and ways of thinking. Unlike a cult, there's no leader you follow or any specific way you should think. It's more about cleaning out your cobwebs just to make way for new thinking and perspectives. It's not for everyone, but you should check out their website. So you're a spaceship. You want a wise pilot in control. Our wise pilot has a place to go, a job to do. He or she has lots of dials and gauges to monitor in order to go in the right direction and arrive safely. Gauges report speed, altitude, etc. A lot of our dials are about what we're feeling at the moment. Are we feeling love, anger, or what? Are we feeling like hugging someone or hitting them? Or both? Are we feeling like running away? Consider these feelings and impulses as simply input and initial impressions that are coming in, not necessarily the thing to do. It's only information for you to consider. The wise pilot has to be aware of the status of the plane, what the goals are, and when problems arise that will require attention. Like a new pilot, there's a lot that distracts us, a lot of information which is not crucial to accomplishing the job. For example, every little shake of the plane, or how we feel about the stewardess. In addition, our new pilot begins unable to interpret or appreciate the value of the dials. What we're feeling isn't important, and is more concerned with looking good to others rather than concentrating on the tasks. He or she will become a better pilot as they learn to filter out what isn't important and focus on what is. What isn't important is worrying about how we look to others. That can only take our mind away from what we need to do to look good, namely to focus on the job and do it well. Also, to pilot ourselves most effectively, we need to be clear about our gauges and to interpret events objectively. We must be able to recognize the distortions that can come from our rational mind and move them aside. Also, soon we'll see how unhealthy emotions, such as anxiety, frustration, and depression, can cloud our instrument panel and interfere with our reading. To summarize, when we want to know if our perceptions are accurate, we have to check in to see that we're thinking clearly, free of distortions, not adding spins or snap judgments. We may be seeing our feelings clearly and accurately, but these feelings are not justified if they're based in distortions or misinterpretations. Unlike what we're taught growing up, you should trust your feelings but question your thinking, the judgments, the spins, the automatic reactions in our mind. Thinking inside the box of our restrictive programming is where we usually get into trouble. It is inflexible, poorly adaptive, and prevents change. You can learn more about how to identify and neutralize these distortions, which we're all subject to, by pursuing cognitive therapy resources. By actively monitoring your thoughts and weeding out distortions, you will be reprogramming yourself, fertilizing and expanding your mind. Mind Gem number 9. We don't know what we don't know, also known as blind spots. Open your mind, challenge yourself, and they'll come to light.
Thanks for listening to The Potent Mind. If today's episode sparked insight or helped you refocus, consider subscribing and sharing it with someone you care about. For more resources or to connect, visit thepotentmind.com. Until next time, be kind to your mind.